So guys, welcome to Salamene Dota once again. This is Coach. I'll be casting tonight's game solo, and we have a Silver League match tonight between 4CEC and Team Pura. Now, 4CEC, they're a returning team. They've played with us once before against Egbert Nation, and Team Pura is a newcomer. So this is game one, and we're entering the drafting phase right now. Let me check first if I have my settings on the... Okay, so yeah. My casting setup should be good right now. Alright, so first bans come in. Again, this is the 6.82 patch. I think it's 6.82B specifically right now. The B update just rebalanced some of the gold and EXP catch-up mechanics. Yeah, previously we were Salamene and I were complaining about the odd rubber banding mechanics. Yeah, those allowed for very lengthy games. They cost very lengthy games because they forced you to play really safe, so your enemies don't use that comeback mechanic to their advantage. But right now it's been nerfed a bit, so I guess that will allow teams to be more aggressive once again in their gameplay. Okay, so the first bans have come out. It's the Lycan and the Doom, and then the Terrorblade and the Tinker. Now the Tinker was actually nerfed quite hard in the previous patch 6.82 and the current iteration 6.82B, because the Tinker's March of the Machines no longer affects the Ancients. So a big nerf to his farming ability, and definitely going to affect the time wherein he gets the Boots of Travel. So might not be as efficient anymore. I haven't seen a Tinker played in this patch yet though, so I can't vouch if the timing's going to be significantly off, but I really feel that it would be. But right now, yeah, 4CEC have the first pick, and they pick up Faceless Void. Still good, a bit of nerfs actually. But Team Pura have the back-to-back. They pick up Death Prophet and Tide Hunter. Okay, so the nerfs to Faceless Void, let me talk about that for a while. It's with the Time Walk, I think. Yeah, the Time Walk has a slight delay now, I think, or is it the movements, the travel time, the Time Walk? But I'm pretty sure that the Chronosphere casting time was increased, so there's a bit of an opportunity for you to use disable like a Silence or a Ravage before the Faceless Void gets the Chronosphere off. So yeah, Team Pura picked up Tide Hunter and Death Prophet. Tide Hunter, his Anchor Smash level 1 got rescaled. No longer that 60% off of level 1. Now gonna start off at 45%, but still formidable. 45% is still quite big, a chunk of damage. And Death Prophet, I think a nerf to her... was it a nerf to her exorcisms or no? It was pretty much an indirect nerf to her in that she can no longer push towers consecutively, because the killing a tier 1 tower refreshes the cooldown of the fortification. So that kind of nerfs pretty much a lot of the Death Ball lineups, the early Snowball advantage lineups. And Centaur Warner picked up by 4CEC. Yeah, that's good initiate and counter initiate. Generally a good hero. Can also go solo lane. Can actually go solo off lane against a Tide Hunter, no problem. So second round of bans come out. It's the Razor and Bane for 4CEC. Yeah, Razor still very powerful mid, I would say. The changes to I think there was something about static link changed, but what I'm sure about is that the plasma field got nerfed. The initial damage at level 1, the maximum damage at level 1 is no longer 160 damage, because yeah, that's really powerful for a level 1 skill. But yeah, Team Pura ban out Templar Assassin, mid-hero they don't want to deal with, and pick up Skywrath Mage. Still one of the best supports in the game. Just a minor nerf on that Mystic Flare. Increased the duration to 2.2 seconds. So a bit more spread out in terms of damage. Takes a bit more time to get the full damage off. You can use that opportunity to force staff yourself out of the Mystic Flare,
10
but
seconds
still,
to go.
otherwise, still a great support overall. You still have that powerful concussive shot right off the get-go, level 1, but also rescaled the slow, I
Reserve
think.
time.
Yeah, the slow was rescaled, but still 30% slow, full 4 seconds. Still great overall, I would say. 4CEC, they have the pick right now, and if I were to guess, it should be a core right now. Should be a mid hero. Right now, who isn't banned? Brewmaster isn't banned yet. Actually, they can still go for the Brewmaster, but Brewmaster did suffer a nerf in his passive, the Drunken Brawler. Yeah. I think it takes more time for the sure crit and sure evade to come off cooldown, but they pick up Ancient Apparition instead. Okay, so Ancient Apparition, the Ancient Apparition is the definitive tri-laner, yeah. But right now, no one really to complement Ancient Apparition on the tri-lane, but perhaps good enough to stop a push, stop a Death Prophet, also stops regeneration from the Death Prophet Ghost. And 4CEC respond with the pick of the Silencer. Okay, the Silencer, always good hero to have. On the drop of a hat, you can cancel an initiation if Centaur Warrunner uses that Stampede. You hear the sound of the Stampede going off. Then you cast the Silence, you break off that initiation, and you can possibly even turn that to your advantage since you have a Tidehunter as well. Faceless Void, he tries to move in, he tries to Chronosphere, and then you silence him, hopefully before the Chronosphere goes off, and then you counter initiate as well. So 4CEC, right now they have a Faceless Void, core, Centaur Warrunner, and Ancient Apparition. I would say Centaur Warrunner is somewhat of a core, but more of a supportish kind of hero. Doesn't really bring much towards the late game other than his ability to cast the Stampede and be naturally tanky. So 4CEC, they pick up the really handsome Shadow Fiend right now. Okay, so Shadow Fiend is the hero that received the biggest buff in 6.82. Shadow Fiend is no longer an ugly bat face, now is cool demon, hell demon face. So yeah, Shadow Fiend definitely major buff in 6.82. So Team Pura, they're going to the last bans right now. It's going to be Earthshaker. Yeah, Earthshaker well paired with something like Centaur Warrunner and Faceless Void. Yeah, big AoE guys. Shadow Fiend as well has great AoE with Requiem. So that's big damage and the slow coming in. If they manage to get a good team fight going on. And they also have a Centaur Warrunner. As I always say, Centaur Warrunner is practically a free blink at level 6 because you can get your guys in the middle of a team fight pretty much instantly. Don't need to have 4 staffs or blink. You can position your guys you can set up Chronosphere or Requiem, without a blink, without 4 staff. Just get yourself into that superior positioning. So the last ban comes out from 4CEC. It's the Spectre, yeah. But Team Pura respond with a Jakiro. Okay, so Team Pura right now, they have 0 agility heroes. So yeah, pretty much an asymmetric kind of game because 4CEC right now they have 2 agility heroes, Faceless Void and Shadow Fiend. So late game, if the potential is there with the Silencer, but otherwise they have 4CEC has more damage dealing potential, I would say, more right click potential towards the end because the Faceless Void and Shadow Fiend, yeah, they have much better late game than Silencer on their own, I would say, because the Silencer really needs kills and a lot of farm actually to be a competent last hitter in the late game. So the last pick is gonna go to Team 4CEC. And we might see a support. There we go. Sorry if I was late. A Dazzle. Just to complement the Ancient Apparition. You can't have just one support. So it's the lineup for 4CEC gonna get rounded up by one more support. And we're gonna move into the match shortly. Just gonna have to wait for these picks. And Come on, Faceless Void, Shadow Fiend. They're probably deciding which one of them should go mid. Okay, both of them are carries, but which one gets to farm mid and which one gets to farm the safe lane? Okay, so it's Scorch going to be the Faceless Void, and Shadow Fiend gonna be their mid hero, definitely. Heh. And we're just waiting for the pick. We might have a disconnect issue. It's not really too uncommon given our servers, but hopefully we won't have to remake this match. And okay, so we're good. Yeah. And yeah. Well, went into the game, but yeah, we have to wait for Shadow Fiend right now for ILG to reconnect into the game. So let's take this opportunity. Yeah, the traditional start of the game pause and introduce our team's players. Right now we have our newcomers. Okay, Team Pura. Welcome, Team Pura, to Salamene Dota. Hope you enjoy and hope we bring something to your Dota 2 experience. Okay, so right now for Team Pura, we have on the Tidehunter Heinkel, on the Skywrath Mage Sol, Silencer played by CCC, on the Death Prophet is Morphbin, and on Jakiro is RapG. On the other side, Radiant, 4CEC Scorch, on the Faceless Void, Aniko gonna play the Ancient Apparition, and Dazzle played by Hearts. Shadow Fiend mid gonna be played by ILG, and the Centaur Warrunner offlane gonna be played by Acnologia. Alright, so right off the get-go, we're gonna see our lanes. The Dazzle's gonna place the ward here at mid, here at the ramp. Maybe just gonna ward for a while, but it's gonna be a tri-lane. Looks like the Ancient Apparition and Faceless Void have already positioned themselves bot. The Dazzle's just gonna place a ward maybe and try to secure that 0-minute rune. Shadow Fiend definitely gonna go mid, and Centaur Warrunner pretty much sure on his offlane position. Tidehunter has managed to place a ward here already. Gonna block out that small pull camp. And things come out. A bit of suspicion there. Level 1 Roshan. Do they think they can Roshan? Probably not. But yeah, the ward, the runes are gonna get given up by Pura. So 4CEC gets both runes. Ancient Apparition gets the bounty, and the double damage is there sitting in front of the Dazzle. Might want to pick that up with a Poison Touch and attempt first blood on the mid. They do have vision though. The Death Prophet sees this. They have an Observer ward there, so they know that the Dazzle has the double damage. Dazzle picks up the double damage, and Death Prophet should be a bit more wary this time. Probably knows the Dazzle is there. Gets the ping out. Dazzle tries to move in. No, can't catch up to the Death Prophet. Yeah, Death Prophet has the good positioning right there. So mid, we have Death Prophet versus Shadow Fiend matchup. Both of them have harass in form of spammable nuke, but I would say that the damage potential definitely goes to the Shadow Fiend because of the Necro Mastery. Now we have a pause though. I think the Shadow Fiend is having some difficulties maybe. He's the one who got disconnected at the start of the game actually, so we he might have to reconnect. You know, there we go, disconnect. Yeah, Southeast Asia server tradition, disconnect, reconnect. You know, thank you to the ISPs and the general state of the Southeast Asian internet in general. Alright, so at both sides of the map we have a tri-lane versus a dual lane. I think the Dazzle's gonna move in. He has a level 1 Shallow Grave though, so not much use in terms of ganking. But yeah, in this tri-lane it's still gonna be a dual ranged versus solo Tidehunter. So the Tidehunter might have some trouble right now because he has level 1 Anchor Smash instead of the Kraken Shell. So early harassment coming in from the Ancient Apparition and Dazzle is gonna have a bit more effect before he picks up the Kraken Shell. And on the other side, it's Centaur Warrunner versus a tri-lane. 3 range guys though. Skywrath Mage, Jakiro, and Silencer. So this might be a much harder lane for CEC's Centaur Warrunner for Acnologia. just because he's melee and really can't go too deep against these ranged heroes, especially because the Jakiro will have a slow and a stun, and the Skywrath Mage as well with slow, and they haven't blocked this pull cam, so EXP advantage gonna go towards Pura, and the double pull is gonna be attempted, but yeah, the timing's a bit off, so no double pull for Sol right there. And the Centaur Warner just gonna do what he's gotta do right now on mid. We see a bit of an advantage going for the Shadow Fiend. 5-2 versus the Death Prophet's 4-0. The Death Prophet getting a bit too aggressive, but shouldn't want that, because the Shadow Fiend has a bit more damage than the Death Prophet right now. And actually no, they're just the same, 56 versus 58. But the Shadow Fiend does have the 3 nukes, but Shadow Fiend getting a bit aggressive right there. The Death Prophet has a bottle, might die. Their maximum aggression and first blood going to Morph Bin. The Shadow Fiend paid for his over aggression. Probably thought that he could take the Death Prophet, and the Death Prophet picks up. Yeah, I got the screen. Don't worry. And picks up the bounty rune on top of that. So even with the last hit advantage, the Death Prophet has a bit of an EXP advantage already. Already 1 level ahead, half a level ahead over the Shadow Fiend. So we take a look at the other lanes. Right now, the Centaur Warner sitting at no last hits, but the Tidehunter having a bit of an easier time, 6 last hits. Yeah, it's just because it's 2 ranged heroes versus 1, and the Tidehunter does have the Kraken Shell, so he's gonna be a bit tankier than the Centaur Warner on the other side, going against 3 ranged without Kraken Shell. Death Prophet moves to the bottle, also picks up an illusion rune. Very good rune securing here from the Death Prophet. You know, there's little to no contestation from team 4CEC, which is kind of odd, because you know that the runes are definitely going to spawn on both sides, so you should have a support here trying to secure it. But right now, okay, so the tri-lane Ancient Apparition movement is there. They've got the Tidehunter slowed, but he's gonna move out. The damage is not enough. The Faceless Void had 1 charge left of the Ancient Apparition's Chilling Touch, wasn't able to land that properly. So yeah, might they kind of paid the price, because the Dazzle picked up a Shadow Wave and the Shallow Grave instead of the Poison Touch. Now, if it were the Poison Touch instead of the Shallow Grave, or even if in exchange for the Shadow Wave, that probably would have been a kill for them. I don't really see the Shallow Grave coming into play this early on. But the Tidehunter, yeah, survives that gank attempt, and it's 4 minutes in. The third set of runes are gonna spawn, and let's see what happens to the next set. Now Shadow Fiend getting harassed. Death Prophet doesn't want to dive this right now. Doesn't have charge or mana. The Dazzle is gonna pick up the double damage rune before the Death Prophet comes in. Yeah, so yeah, can actually harass the Death Prophet, because the Death Prophet no longer has mana, but the move speed is there for the Death Prophet. The Dazzle doesn't have boots. So yeah, but right now on top, the Centaur Warner gonna get engaged upon. Has the Curse of the Silence and the last word on him. Almost dies, actually. Might fall now. He got that tango up, so he didn't fall to the liquid fire. But Shadow Fiend, yeah, right now he got the bottle up already and got the rune on top. And did someone die? Oh, someone died. Faceless Void. Okay, so they managed to kill the Tidehunter right now at the bottom lane. Yeah, the potential is still there for the Ancient Apparition. He actually put another point in Chilling Touch, just to make sure perhaps that they get a lot more damage on the Tidehunter. Yeah, because the Chilling Touch is actually magic, so the Tidehunter's Kraken Shell doesn't really help against that. And on top of that, I think the Dazzle already got a Poison Touch, so it's gonna be easier for them to zone out the Tidehunter. But right now, the Trillian on top has already managed to take down the tower, Yeah, because the Centaur Warrunner really can't stand there. Look at that. He's sitting at a very, very low level too, with 0 last hits and 0 denies. Nothing at all for this Centaur Warrunner. He has he almost died a while ago, and he practically has nothing. Hasn't died yet, but hasn't gotten a last hit either, and has been pretty much zoned out. If we check at the levels, he's sitting at the very, very bottom, level 2. Right now, a bit of an harassment there on the Tidehunter. Nothing happening yet. Oh, smoke coming in from the Skywrath Mage and the Jakiro. They're moving in towards the mid. This Shadow Fiend has been just so greatly harassed by the Death Prophet. The Death Prophet has been able to zone out the Shadow Fiend pretty well, but the Shadow Fiend gonna make a recovery here by farming the neutrals, the big neutral camp. So might be able to catch up. In terms of net worth, yeah, he's sitting 500 behind the Death Prophet, but if he takes this creep wave, yeah, it's gonna be pretty much dead even right now. And in terms of EXP, yeah, a bit more. The creeps, the neutral creeps give a bit more EXP than gold. So yeah, Death Prophet gonna feel the pain of that level 4 Shadow Rays right now, but the Ice Path comes in, doesn't really hit the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend sticks. He doesn't really retreat, so he got into the position of the Skywrath Mage's slow, and everyone's following him right now. Might catch him out from the Ice Path, he does, but the Shadow Priest is gonna save him right there, and the Death Prophet is diving right now. Shadow Fiend has an evasive maneuver, manages to dodge that last nuke from the Death Prophet and gonna get away safely. So failed dive attempt right there from Team Pura, and amazing response from the Shadow Priest from the Dazzle. So good coordination right there, coming from 4C EC. And right now, on top of the last hits is Faceless Void, followed by the still the Shadow Fiend. Even if he's gotten zoned out actually by the Death Prophet's harass, somehow he's been able to recover. Yeah, not really too good on those Shadow Raises, but gonna get hit by the Ice Path. Gonna turn this around. So yeah, these tri-lane ganks from the Jakiro and Skywrath Mage haven't really been successful. Haven't really managed to pick off the Shadow Fiend. So yeah, top of the farm chart, it's Faceless Void and the Shadow Fiend. The Silencer actually has been pretty much has been given free farm here at the top lane. The Centaur Warner can't even contest this. He has levels though. He's now actually level 5 with 13 last hits, so has been able to recover a bit. But yeah, the Silencer free farm versus the Void free farm. The Faceless Void with the higher attack damage and Quelling Blade has been able to secure a lot more last hits actually than the Silencer. Shadow Fiend right now going for efficiency, gonna stack this camp, and then yeah, maybe gonna stack it another time before he decides to farm that with Raze. But right now, yeah, we have 3 on the middle lane. Gonna harass this tower with the Liquid Fire. Shadow Fiend in a dangerous position right now. Yeah, getting harassed by that Skywrath Mage. Still, he should note that even if he has the treads, he's still pretty soft hero. 796. The Death Prophet should be tankier than him. Yeah, 853. So Shadow Fiend quite vulnerable actually to ganks in this stage of the game before he gets BKB. Pretty squishy, so pretty vulnerable to ganks, but Team Pura haven't been diving him too much right now. Tidehunter getting low and gonna get finished off. The Faceless Void almost dies, but very, very perfect Shallow Grave right there from the Dazzle. And last TP out just to secure his safety, and the Dazzle almost gonna get killed right there by the Death Prophet nuke, but was able to teleport like a fourth of the second before the nuke hits. So well played by 4C EC. Was able to take down the Tidehunter for nothing at all. So in terms of the Centaur Warrior might die. Yeah, he does die to the Silencer. Got that combo of the Curse of the Silent and Last Word in. So can't really do much about that, especially since Centaur Warner doesn't really have too much of a mana pool, and his only mana costing ability is actually 130 mana, so can't really spam that too much. I think the double edge though also cancels the Curse of the Silent, but he still loses life either way, so that's unique. Right now, on mid we have an engagement. A bit of an harass coming in from the Death Prophet. Has the exorcisms, but the exorcism spirits don't touch the tower. Either way, this tower is low, so a liquid fire gonna hit this tower, gonna bring this to deny range, but not gonna quite finish it, so they have the opportunity to deny this right now. And a denial? Yeah, a denial coming in from the Shadow Fiend. Well played, but right now they have Team Pura have the opportunity to pursue. The Ice Path hits no one, so but the Dazzle is caught out right here. Is body blocked by the Jakiro, has no choice but to cast the Shallow Grave on himself, but it's off cooldown. The Death Prophet is caught by the Faceless Void's Time Walk, and the Skywrath Mage gonna get caught by that Chronosphere. So that's a 3-4-1 exchange for 4CEC, and they're gonna be happy with that even if they lost the mid tower. So in terms of kills, yeah, 4CEC is ahead, but Team Pura does have 2 tower kill advantage over 4CEC. So let's see if that factors into the gold difference. 12 minutes into the game, close game. Only 1,000 gold advantage for 4CEC, and in EXP, yeah, definitely an advantage for 4CEC just because the kills, because of the early kills and the Shadow Fiend being able to farm the neutrals. But a Claymore on the Shadow Fiend. So is this gonna be a Shadow Blade? Probably gonna be a Shadow Blade from the Shadow Fiend. So right now he does have 1,600 gold. Is he gonna pick up the Shadow Amulet? And there you go. The Shadow Amulet gets picked up. But right now in the bottom lane, while the Shadow Fiend is harassing the middle lane, the Exorcism is cast on the bottom tower, and that's definitely gonna fall. Faceless Void is harassed out of position, can't really defend. Fortification coming up on this tier 1 tower, and the Death Prophet, he has half of his Exorcism Spirits time remaining. Backs out a bit, but right now, yeah, the Exor Spirits can resume hitting the tower, and this tower should fall. Maybe one last liquid fire to reveal. The Faceless Void moves in. He still has no chrono, but locking down that Death Prophet with last hits. But the Exorcism is gonna end, and no heal. No heal came out because I think the Death Prophet was hit by the Ancient Apparition Hold. But yeah, 2 deaths for CEC. Yeah, they've lost the Ancient Apparition and the Dazzle there, but in exchange they pick off the Jakiro. The Shadow Fiend moved in to clean up the remains of that match, and picked off the Jakiro at the end. And yeah, I would say that kind of evens out in terms of kills, but in terms of gold, that's still going to be an advantage for Team Pura. Yeah, right now close to 0 net worth advantage, but more still greater EXP lead for Team 4CEC. So a lot more wards right now for Team Pura. They have vision here and here, and some vision on the bottom lane, whereas the only wards right now for Team 4CEC. But right now the Shadow Fiend manages to pull off a fast one, the Requiem of Souls on the Death Prophet, and Death Prophet's definitely gonna fall. The Skywrath Mage also hit by the Ancient Apparition ult and gonna fall to the Shadow Fiend. So Shadow Fiend killed 2, I think. No, it was the Centaur Warrener that killed one of them, that killed off the Death Prophet, I believe. So this tower might fall soon. Jakiro is doing a good job in defending this tower though. They're still apprehensive to push this tower. Ice Path gonna hit 2, but not gonna stop anyone. The Macro Fire is there, but not really in position to hit anyone. And this tower, oh, the Jakiro with the nice deny. Perfect timing against 4 heroes hitting the tower. That's just very, very good timing coming from the Jakiro. So first tower of the game taken by 4CEC. Still a deny. So not too much of an advantage going for them, but still decent enough. 1,500 from the 2 kills in the ninth tower in the last 2 minutes. EXP advantage still in their favor because they have the kill advantage. But right now we have a 3-man smoke gang coming in. They're wrapping around the Ancient Apparition and Faceless Void. Faceless Void does have a Chronosphere though, but they catch the Dazzle at the back end instead. The Dazzle falls and the Ancient Apparition moves in recklessly and also falls to the Death Prophet Spirits. Now the Faceless Void has to retreat. Jakiro has the Ice Path and lands on the Faceless Void. Faceless Void still has a Time Walk and the Chronosphere and catches the Chronosphere on Jakiro and the Tide Hunter. Tide Hunter might fall to the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend has those right clicks, but Shadow Fiend gets caught by the Ravage. Centaur Warrunner moves in, stuns a bit late, but the Faceless Void still moves in and kills the Skywrath Mage, but might fall to the Silencer right now. Curse of the Silent and the Death Prophet nuke, the Crypt Swarm, gonna seal the deal for Team Pura, and the Dazzle moves back in and decides to die. So all in all, wait, no team fight recap, but I believe that's all of them died actually. Yeah, all of them died except the Centaur Warner. He was able to move back at the last moment. So that's 4 dead, 5 dead actually if you count that the Dazzle died twice against 3 dead for Team Pura. Yeah, it was the Jakiro, the Tide Hunter, and the Skywrath Mage. Not really worth it if you're not gonna get the Death Prophet and the Silencer, the 2 cores of Pura. Those are the ones you really want to get at this stage in the game. So yeah, right now net worth gonna swing back down to 0. Team Pura. Yeah, brought this game back down to even, and EXP as well. This game is pretty dead even at this point in the game. Pinks are coming out. Just gonna deward a bit. Yeah, they found the wards of 4CEC, and that's gonna reduce a lot of the map control of Team 4CEC, especially since they've lost all their tier 1 towers already. But the Shadow Fiend gonna attempt to bring some payback, hitting this tower a bit, but yeah, the teleports come in. Shadow Fiend knows he has to move back. So on the farm side of things, net worth still top of the charts is Shadow Fiend, but the Death Prophet and the Silencer have been able to catch up to the Faceless Void. The Faceless Void actually bit not really farming too much because he's been moving around and trying to get those kills. Yeah, he did get 5 kills before he died, but giving up a 5 kill streak is not really the way to go. He gave quite a bit of a gold swing towards Pura when he decided to dive that Skywrath Mage early on. But right now they have a 4-man slow. The smoke gets revealed and they know the Skywrath Mage is there. The Chronosphere is casted just on Skywrath Mage just to ensure that Skywrath Mage dies. But the Global Silence is there. Centaur Warner casts the Stampede. Gets himself on the wrong end of the engagement and falls to the Jakiro. And the Ancient Apparition and Dazzle back out. The Faceless Void also moves out, so that's gonna be the end of the team fight for Team 4CEC, but not for Team Pura. They still have the Exorcism Spirits up and might be looking to deal a bit of damage to this tower, but Fortification is cast and the Exorcism is about to end, so they might not be able to take down this tower right now, so they back off, and that's gonna be the end of that engagement. Unless they stay there. No, they're gonna move out already. The Death Prophet's teleported out. So right now, let's take a look at the items. 19 minutes into the game, the big items are the Centaur Warrior actually has the blink, and the Silencer actually has an Aghanim Scepter. Wow, 19 minutes in. Oh, the Silencer went for a Hand of Midas. Yeah, because he had free farm in the top lane, wasn't really contested by the Centaur Warrior. In fact, the Centaur Warrior died, I think, once or twice to the Silencer. So was able to pick up a Hand of Midas and an Aghanim Scepter right now. So that's a level 2 Global Silence with an Aghanim Scepter. Quite a bit of damage. I think that's already a max duration Curse of the Silent. Yes. And another one on top of that if he manages to cast it within on the enemies, if he catches them in range. So yeah, Shadow Fiend has a Yasha, nothing much after that. And yeah, no mech yet for Team 4CEC, but the Death Prophet is the one who picked up the mech on Team Pura. So not gonna be a Tide Hunter on the mech right now. Yeah, I can understand that because the mech actually was nerfed. A bit of mana cost increase for the mechanism. So you don't want a low mana hero like a Tide Hunter to be carrying the mech right now, because if you do, then you might just run out of mana for the other important spells that you want to cast on Tide Hunter. But right now, yeah, Shadow Fiend picks off a tower solo, uncontested at the bottom lane. So a bit of gold gonna go there for CEC. Yeah, just a little bit of lead. Still dead even game, I would say. But the Exorcism Spirits are cast here at the tier 2 top tower for CEC. A blink coming in from Centaur Warner, and the damage comes in, but the Centaur Warner gonna get hit by that Mystic Flare. Death Prophet caught by the Chronosphere, and Faces Void already has a BKB. Is protected by the Dazzle's Shallow Grave, but gonna expire right as he loses his HP. Shadow Fiend at the back of that engagement wasn't really in a good position to use his Requiem of Souls efficiently. So that's a 2-for-1 exchange for Team Pura. And on top of that, they get the tier 2 tower to half HP. Still not a tower takedown, but gonna be close, especially since they have a Jakiro and the Death Prophet on their side. So 2-for-1 exchange, yeah, that's gonna be good for Team Pura. They're gonna be happy with that, especially since it's the Faceless Void that they got to pick off on. So in team net worth, yes, still an advantage for CEC. But EXP pretty much 0, so still a dead even game. Can go either way. Silencer has managed to accumulate 10 intelligence. Not too much right now, but let's see if he can pick up the pace and steal a bit more EXP, a bit more intelligence, and be able to match the Shadow Fiend and the Faceless Void towards the late game. But right now the game is still 22 minutes in, so a lot can still happen. In terms of farm, yeah, the Faceless Void has actually caught up to the Silencer despite the Midas. Has that Mask of Madness now, has a blocking bar. He used his 10-second charge earlier on, yeah. So, okay, the Skywrath Mage falls solo to the Shadow Fiend here on top, and on top of that, they might take this tower. The Shadow Fiend is hitting for a big 250 damage around. So this tower might go down without much of a contest. He has the Desolator actually, but the Tide Hunter blinks in, has no Ravage, but the Shadow Fiend has DNV, has the Shadow Blade, doesn't cast it, and he pays for that. Didn't cast the Shadow Blade. Maybe he thought he could just walk out of the Ice Path range. Caught by the Ice Path, caught by the Tide Hunter, and falls for pretty much no good reason. And that's gonna be good for Team Pura. 850 gold on the Tide, mostly on the Tide Hunter, and 479 gold lost by the Shadow Fiend. So that's gonna be around 1,300 gold, 1,300 gold exchange for Team Pura. So a lot of things happening in this patch. Yeah, a caster might get kind of overloaded by the information, especially since the show recap, the new show recap feature shows kind of a lot of information, and I don't think I can use it quite properly right now because the format isn't really working for me. It's more visual than numbers. So might not be too helpful for a caster like me, and I'm not really a pro. I'm still an amateur, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But the tower here is gonna go down, I would say. But the Death Prophet, okay, hit by the Ancient Apparition ult, but the Tide Hunter blinks in and ravages immediately. They have no mechanism, no way to recover from that. And the Stampede is cast. The Faceless Void still in the middle of the team fight. The Mystic Flare is cast, but the Faceless Void was able to time walk out of that. So no further deaths gonna happen aside from the Death Prophet and the Shadow Fiend, but the tier 2 top tower of Team 4 CEC did fall, and now they're moving on to the tier 3. The Jakiro still has that liquid fire, still able to deal massive amounts of damage, and the Centaur Warrior actually got in the Ice Path before he could cast that Hoof Stomp. Faces Void, Time walks in. He has no Chronosphere though, but Man's Up against the Silencer is saved right now by the Shallow Grave, but yeah, falls to the hero in the end. The DOT is gonna make sure that the damage persists after the Shallow Grave. So, thank you. A good counter, I guess, from 4CEC. Good way to repel them from that tower, since the tower might have fallen if they just let the Jakiro siege the tier 3 at that rate. They got a carry for a carry exchange. The Silencer did fall before the Faceless Void, so good enough for them. At least the Faceless Void didn't lose intelligence in that exchange. So I would say that yeah, maybe a bittersweet victory for 4CEC. At least they didn't lose the tower, but still not really in their favor. Experience dipped a bit towards Team Pura, but recovered after a bit. This tower is actually in the 9 range, 78. The TP response is gonna be there. Shadow Fiend gonna get a bit greedy, but kills the tower, and they have no detection on the Shadow Fiend's invisibility. But the cooldown of the TP is still 18 seconds, so he has to hide a bit. Maybe they won't suspect that the Shadow Fiend is still there, so he might be safe for now. Just 8 seconds until he can TP out. So he knows that Team Pura is there. They're gonna attempt to push the top lane again. They really want to take Rax early on before they hit the 30-minute mark, because they don't want Faceless Void to get that big game advantage. But the Dazzle is caught out, might fall. He might be able to cast the Shallow Grave. Should cast the Shallow Grave right now, but is silenced and cannot cast the Shallow Grave in time, and falls to the Silencer. Gonna lose a bit of int right there. So these exchanges, yeah, not really going the way of 4CEC. But still, the game has never gone beyond the 2,000 gold, 3,000 gold advantage. So it's still close either way. And experience-wise, yeah, very close, still close to 0. But in terms of towers, yeah, you can really see that the pushing capabilities of Team Pura is far superior to that of 4CEC, especially since they've been holding their own. But right now, big team fight. Global Silence is cast. The BKB on the Faceless Void not gonna save him from the Silencer. And the Shadow Fiend is gonna fall on top of that. The Dazzle is still in the middle of things, casts the Shallow Grave on himself. Wasn't able to save the Shadow Fiend or the Faceless Void, and now it's just the 3 supports, no cores, against these pushing heroes, and the Exorcism is up, gonna take the first melee racks of the game, and might be able to take the ranged racks as well, just to make it set. And right now, yeah, this is gonna go down, and the first lane of racks is gonna fall. 4CEC lost their top racks, and right now a bit of an advantage for Team Pura. So in that last fight, around 1,200 gold exchange, but beyond that, that's also a tower, and that's also a lane of racks. So might be a bit harder for Team 4CEC to stage a comeback right now. But they do have a superior late game, I would say. They do have the Faceless Void. They just need to have the Faceless Void perform much more critically in the next engagements. He has Point Booster and an Ogre Club, so it's definitely gonna be an Aghanim Scepter, but might take some time. Gonna need 1,500 gold more. The Shadow Fiend actually hasn't been able to add to his inventory in the last 10 minutes. He's going for an SNY. He can actually buy it right now. Has the Ogre Club, so it's the Yasha and the Ogre Club. It's gonna be an SNY probably, or no, I think he's gonna go for the BKB. But yeah, the Silencer ult does go through BKB, I believe. Yeah, it goes through a BKB, so you need to cast that BKB before after the Global Silence is cast, because otherwise you're gonna die like the Faceless Void a while ago died due to the Global Silence and Curse of the Silent, because he popped the BKB before the engagement. Centaur Warner blinks in, casts the Stampede, and the Chronosphere is there, gonna catch the Silencer, and the Skywrath Queen is gonna buy back, but the Death Prophet falls, the Tidehunter falls, and still 5 men are alive for Team 4CEC, so a good engagement from them, and wow, a massive 400 damage hit from the Shadow Fiend. and that just takes the Jakiro's life from half to 0 in one shot. So right now, a big win for CEC. That's 4-4-0, 5-4-0 exchange, and the forced buyback from the Skywrath Mage. So right now, they're gonna take this opportunity to take this Roshan and maybe hope to turn that into Rax push on their own. But the respawn timer's gonna end for Team Pura, and I don't think they can stage an offensive at this point. Everyone's alive in Team Pura, so they're gonna have to wait for another opportunity. So another thing I'd like to note is right now the Aegis duration has been nerfed a bit. It's been nerfed to 5 minutes, so it's gonna force out more aggressive gameplays from the team that has the Aegis, which is right now for CEC with the Aegis on the Shadow Fiend. They should be looking to make a play in the next 4 minutes just to take advantage of that Aegis. Right now, a bit of farming action going in from Team Pura. If you check the gold graph, yeah, net worth went down when they took down the Rax on top in their favor, in Team Pura's favor, but went back up after the 5-man team wipe and the buyback from Team Pura and the Roshan kill. So yeah, and the XP earned, yeah, it's the first major swing actually of the game, over 5,000 already because of that 5-man team wipe. So yeah, this game is starting to look more asymmetrical. As we enter the late game, beyond 30 minutes, we see that the Shadow Fiend is actually hitting for a really absurd amount of damage, around 200 plus, I think 300. Plus he has the Desolator action going on. He has a double damage rune right now though, so it's only around 300 damage. But still, that's very potent on its own because he has the armor reduction, Presence of the Dark Lord, and the Desolator. So might actually end up as a damage amplification after everything is said and done. And you have the damage armor reduction also from Dazzle, but engagement comes in, the Tidehunter blinks in but isn't able to use the Ravage. Silence comes in and forces a retreat from the Centaur Warner, but the Faceless Void walks in and Chronospheres picks off the Skywrath Mage from the get-go. Silence are able to escape and the Ravage comes in, kills the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend has the Aegis, the Dazzle falls, the Faceless Void has fallen, the Shadow Fiend is back, gonna get that last hit on the Silencer, but at the back end of that engagement, the Ancient Apparition has fallen, the Shadow Fiend wasn't able to get out of that engagement and also falls. Only the Centaur Warner was able to escape, so not really a good engagement right there for CEC. And yeah, that's a 2,500 gold swing in favor of Pura. It was a 3-4-4 exchange, but yeah, that was the Aegis and the two cores, the Shadow Fiend and the Faceless Void, lost for Team 4 CEC. So we take a look at the net worth. Yeah, it's starting to go down. EXP starting to go down, and this game really back and forth. The kill difference isn't really too much, but we have to remember that the top lane of Rax is pushed in for 4 CEC. So they really need to bring a lot more effort in to be able to come back from this point of being Rax behind. So yeah, the Roshan not there. They still have 2 objectives left here outside the base. They still have 2. Team Pura still has 2 tier 2s to take down, and same goes for Team 4 CEC. 2 tier 2s still standing for Team Pura. Right now, we see movement from the 2 supports and the Faceless Void. This Faceless Void really aggressive in this game, actually down to his minimum duration of the BKB, down to 5 seconds. Also, another thing to note in this patch, the BKB can no longer be repurchased. The duration is no longer refreshed because the duration is tied to the hero itself. So the Faceless Void won't be able to get a full duration BKB anymore if he buys a new one. Neither will the Shadow Fiend, but the Shadow Fiend still has a 9-second BKB. Did buy that BKB much later than the Faceless Void, but now maybe it won't be too useful except for avoiding the Ravage, because it's gonna be the Death Prophet's exorcism that deals the biggest chunk of damage to you if you stick around in a team fight, and maybe the Silencer's right clicks. So just right now gonna hit the Shadow Fiend, but the Skywrath Mage is taken down from the get-go, faces Void Chronospheres in, and is a bit indecisive, tries to kill the Silencer, does manage to kill the Silencer right before the duration of the Chronosphere ends, and a bit of a scattered team fight right now. Everyone's moving up and down. The Exorcism is up, the Death Prophet is caught by the bash of the faces Void, but it's actually the Tidehunter that falls to the right clicks of 4CEC. Right now 4CEC still have 5 men up, and they're gonna back off from that engagement, gonna take that win, and that's gonna be good for them. That's actually, wow, that's an even more massive exchange than the previous team fights. That's actually 2,900 gold difference, around 3,000 gold exchange all in all in favor of 4CEC. So we can easily see the gold difference right now, net worth over 5,000, closing to 7,000, 8,000 territory, and EXP earned also reaching that 6,000, 7,000 area as well. Even though it did go down the last team fight, last team fight was actually won by Team Pura, I would say. The previous team fight, I meant. But right now, yeah, pretty much a lot of hesitation coming in from both teams. 37 minutes. In the previous matches, the game should be ending at this point in time, but a bit more passiveness from both teams, I suppose. Gonna be a bit more careful. Even if Team Pura has one lane advantage, they still can't afford to just throw bodies on the other lanes. They're still liable to lose this entire game if they lose one or two more team fights in succession. So yeah, on top of the farm charts, it's still Shadow Fiend. I think in this patch, you still account into the net worth the deaths already, the gold lost from deaths. So even if Shadow Fiend has died quite a few times already, around 6 deaths, yeah, 6 deaths, his net worth is still on top. The Faceless Void behind him, 1,400, but the Death Prophet in between at 1,600. So this Shadow Fiend addresses his softness by getting a heart. Actually has a heart right now. Gonna be a lot more tanky. So might not instantly fall to the Exorcism and the Silencer's right clicks. So the team fights are gonna get harder and harder for Team Pura, but right now they move in on the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend is slowed by the Tidehunter. Gosh, the Exorcism sure cast. The Shadow Fiend doesn't retreat. He's quite ballsy right now, but the Ravage comes in and hits the supports of 4CEC. The Stampede comes out. Big Chronosphere on the Faceless Void manages to catch 2, 3, and instantly the supports fall. That's the Skywrath Mage, Jakiro. Death Prophet might fall also. The Time Walk is there, slows down the Death Prophet, and the Death Prophet dies to the Faceless Void. A buyback coming in from the Jakiro, but I'm not sure if the Jakiro can hold off the push right now. It's still 5 men alive for 4CEC, and the Shadow Fiend is gonna hit for a lot of damage. The Tidehunter has no Ravage. He has an invisibility rune, but yeah, no Ravage, not gonna be able to do anything. Only 10 seconds until the Skywrath Mage responds, and around 25 before Silencer and Death Prophet. So they really need to make a move right now, and it's not gonna be hard for them because the Shadow Fiend has that armor reduction action going on with the Desolator, and gonna take the tower and racks in no time. Just before the Silencer and Death Prophet respawn. They don't have buyback. Yeah, nobody has buyback except the Shadow Fiend and the Centaur Warrior actually. And previously the Jakiro bought back but wasn't able to make any use of that. The Shadow Fiend moves down here in the bottom lane. Gonna farm a bit more, but yeah, nothing more is gonna happen from that. So alright, in terms of racks, 4CEC evens out this game, bringing it into a 1:1 lane disadvantage for both teams. The 4CEC lost the the top lane of racks much earlier on, but just recently got the middle lane of racks in exchange. The Shadow Fiend getting caught here a bit, but the Stampede is there to save the Shadow Fiend, but the Faceless Void moves in, Chronosphere catches the Death Prophet, and Death Prophet falls. The Jakiro falls in no time. Just so squishy against the right clicks of the Faceless Void. And no further response, I think. So, guys. Okay, just a reminder to our players, we have to show courtesy. Yeah, show courtesy to those we are playing against. Okay, we are a friendly community for everyone, you know. Everyone's supposed to have a fun time, and we aim to really remove a lot of the negative stereotypes associated with gamers and Dota 2 in particular. So, hopefully, guys. Yeah. Thank you for backing me up there, Salamene. More professionalism, yeah. So right now, the big A ultimate, right, gonna hit the Tide Hunter. Tide Hunter has a Ravage, but might actually fall to the Ancient Apparition. Yeah, actually Shatter's right there. Wasn't able to use Ravage. And the Death Prophet moving in. Gonna be a bit aggressive towards the Shadow Fiend, but the Shadow Fiend does have that heart. He's not gonna fall quite easily like before. The Vassal gonna get caught at the back, but not the softest before. Still has a few heals, still has the Shallow Grave, not gonna cast it just yet. And yeah, the damage isn't there for Team Pura anymore. They don't have the right click damage, the scaling right click damage that 4C EC have. The Exorcism was powerful, yeah, early on, but they start losing their effectiveness once everyone gets stacky. The Shadow Fiend has the heart and the Butterfly as well. So, yeah, it's gonna be a lot harder to kill the Shadow Fiend, as well as the Faceless Void. The Faceless Void has the advantage, so a bit more tankiness for him. And they're gonna take this row, second row of the game. Gonna go to Faceless Void, maybe. The Shadow Fiend moves in, gonna help a bit. The armor reduction is gonna make this Roshan much easier, and it does. Roshan falls in a matter of seconds. And Faceless Void, this time around, picks up the Aegis. So the Ancient Apparition shoots out an Ice Blast. Gonna do a bit of harass, hits no one actually. But yeah, 4C EC still has to defend this top lane of Rax. Still no damage on the towers, but yeah, they still have to be a bit more cautious here, because the middle lane of Rax is much easier to defend actually, because it's the shortest lane in the game. So it's gonna be 4C EC who still has to be more cautious in protecting their lost barracks lane. Right now, the Shadow Fiend isn't really moving out. He's probably gonna go for an Assault Cuirass, has a Hyperstone. He has a Butterfly. I should note right now to those watching, the Butterfly actually has been buffed in 6.82. Wasn't particularly popular in the pro scene, but right now he has an active ability called Flutter, which allows you to move really fast. 20%, yeah, 20% move speed boost. So a bit more than face boots, and really a great advantage to have in the late game, as you're gonna rely on that move speed to either get a lot of right clicks in or to be able to escape ganks in a pinch. So right now it's 4C EC gonna go aggressive here on the top lane, gonna look to even things out, gonna push out the lane that they've lost Rax on. So it's 5 men, 4C EC, a bit scattered right now. Yeah, they don't want to get caught in a single position. But the Faceless Void is leading a charge. He has that Aegis. Might want to save his Chronosphere for when he dies and reincarnates. Might be a good idea to do so if he decides to initiate. But right now, the Blink Ravage is there and followed up immediately by the Silence. Faceless Void might die actually. The Silence is purged by the BKB. The Tide Hunter falls and the Chronosphere is cast. Silencer is caught and is immediately gonna fall to the Faceless Void's right clicks. The Skywrath Mage is gonna fall as well. And there's really nothing that Team Pura can do right now. They've lost the Jakiro, they lose the Death Prophet, they lost everything, and the GG well played is called by the Tide Hunter. And 4C EC take down, take the first match. Alright, so end of the match. I'm gonna take a screenshot for my friend here. Yeah. And that's Team 4C EC taking the first game of this best of 3. Will Pura be able to come back? I certainly hope so. They did show that they have a lot of fight in them, but we'll have to see in the next game. So guys, see you at game 2.